Hey guys, so this is our first video in our new little apartment, and I am using all of the same tools that I used in the tiny house that we were staying in that was quite a bit smaller than this. Okay, so we are nomadic with children, and that brings a whole nother parameter to your life. Nomadic can be really fun because you can have adventures, you can meet new people, go to new places, and at the same time your schedule, your routine, your way that you conduct your life becomes very important for the stability and the happiness of the children, and so that you're not stressed out, because a lot of times when you're nomadic you're in very small spaces. So what you see here is that you see my things really nicely organized in boxes, and I do have some books, but they're very stacked. They're right on top of each other, stacked. And then you see my children's shelf, and you see the top of what is a workstation for everyone. And you see that every time they put something in, it just gets dumped in. It's not necessarily about how much stuff you have, it's about whether or not you've put a system together that works for everybody so they can tell where things go, because when you are going from place to place frequently, the place that things belong changes. When you always group certain things together, the kids eventually learn that if I see a basket with coloring supplies in it, that's where my colored pencils go. And that is why when I get into a new place, my first priority is, do I have enough shelving? Do I have enough baskets? Can I put it together quickly? Can I make it easy for everybody? And it is an investment that I make that I believe is worth it. I have yet to find a time when I didn't use all the baskets that I had, because a lot of times if you can then segregate things out even more so that there's plenty of room in each basket and it's very specific what is in each basket, then the kids can find it even easier. At this point in time, what I see we're missing is some really nice sturdy baskets. Maybe one sturdy basket for Kaya's books and another sturdy basket for Paige's books. And I think that would help things a lot. And I do like to have them open top, because then I can look in and I can see, did they stack them nicely? Because it's one thing to have everything in the same basket, but it's another thing to put them all in the same basket, the same way you see them here, where they've just been dumped. Doing this, you want everything to be square, reasonably square. If they're not square, if they're round, you waste a lot of space and you can't really stack them. On top of the one that we use kind of for laundry, because you can put your art books and stuff in it. How many across do you think we could do?
Maybe like 5.
On top of, like, above the shoes.
We could do 5.
I think we could do 5.
I think
Yeah.
2, actually 3.
I was thinking we could do 4.
I'm thinking 3. She's nice.
Alright, so you see I took quite a few back. I got 4 of each so that we can try it out instead of committing fully or having to drive back out and having too many baskets. I know that this many will definitely work, so I can spend the day getting it organized. guys, so this is the nighttime finished project on this side of the house. We do have two other shelves over there. One of them is over the top of the freezer, so we have additional space above the freezer instead of having 5 feet of space wasted. And then we also have another shelf that will be used. Now, what I have here is baskets in the top that have large books in them, or paper for school, or paper for art, or envelopes for shipping things. And then I have smaller baskets that have smaller amounts of things in them. The one thing you want to make sure of is that no matter what is in your basket, make sure it's not too full. If there's too much stuff in it, they can't put things away and it won't look tidy. Everything that's down here is family type stuff, art, school, shoes. Shallow shoes belong underneath the shelf, so we're not even wasting that much space. The girls have a lot of art supplies, more than they need. Some of this was redundant. They have a couple different packages of pencils and a couple different packages of paints, but this is what they have. So I did need to go get a different basket, so this is one of the dollar store baskets. And then here we have Kaya's school books, and they all fit in here very nicely. And Paige's school books. Now these are dollar store baskets. They're not terribly tough, and if the girls are not careful with them, which they're children, they probably won't be careful with them, I'm going to have to replace them after probably a couple months, because I'm pretty sure they're going to drop them and hit them on the edge of the shelf, and there's heavy books in it. So it's a dollar store basket. It'll have to be okay. This here is also school. This is full of their puzzle geography maps. And so that's what this shelf looks like. I also only have one clothes drying rack, and we do all of our laundry and dry on that rack. We don't have a dryer and we don't have a clothesline, so that works well, and I will do another video about that in a while. But for now, this is how it looks. I like it being a half shelf. This is actually half of a shelf. It's meant to be quite a bit taller, but I like it as a half shelf. It makes it feel like it's more accessible, and it gives you that expanse wall above it that makes it feel a little more spacious, not like it's, you know, coming in on you. So that's how I do it. This time I did it even cheaper because I went to the dollar store rather than to Big Lots. Usually I go to Big Lots. The one difference is I think these baskets look a little bit more refined, a little bit sleeker. These look like plastic from the dollar store. However, if it turns out that I really hate it and I really don't want it in the living room, I can transition these baskets up into the girls' room and get something that looks nicer, something maybe that's wicker, and put it down here that's the same size. I can do that, but for now I really enjoy playing with the space, playing with the materials, seeing what we think before jumping in and buying a $5 basket instead of this $1 basket. So I really do enjoy that. Back home, the reason I did not start with dollar store baskets was because the basket size that I needed was not available at the dollar store. I did not have adjustable shelves. These are nice because they're adjustable. They go up, they go down, you change them very quickly. The space that I had back home, I had made wood shelves. They were a certain height. I needed the baskets to be a certain size. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, make sure to ask in the comments in the description. I will try to get to those. Please have your comments be kind, no swearing, no mean comments. It makes it difficult for me to read those when they're laced with things that are less than friendly. So if you have honest questions, make sure to let me know. And I will try to show more of this as we go further along. This is about 4 times the space of what we're used to living in. Even when we were in the little house here in Tulsa before, it was about the same size as our living room. That was how big it was. It was very small. And our tiny house was about that much size too, about the size of our living room. So we're used to living in something much smaller, but it's still not an enormous house, and we still have to have objects that we live with that make life a little bit easier. It is a lot about your design and not so much about the size of the space. It also matters that you don't have a lot of clutter, but don't minimalize down to the point where you don't have the things that you need. Especially with kids, it matters that you have enough. It's okay for us to have this many art supplies, even though they don't need this many art supplies because there's redundancy in there. It's okay that they have it. The next few videos are going to be about us getting ready and sourcing animal supplies, feed, animals themselves, cages. I find that our family does better when we have animals, and right now we have the little horses out at the lease barn, and they have said that we could bring a couple, not a lot, but a couple more animals out there, and that's what we're going to try to do and show you how we manage this and still grow our own food even though we're living in a small apartment. So hopefully you enjoy this. We'll talk to you later.